I mean, everybody collects in the sense that all our furniture, all our clothes, they relate together in different ways. I mean, a current collection that's becoming more important is probably people's iPod playlist.
I collect white china candlesticks, bits of broken china from the garden.
I collect models called Warhammer 40,000.
In a sense, I don't really collect for myself.
I have a huge collection of rulers which goes now into sub-collections which are really beginning to interest me.
When you do ask about people's treasured or special possessions, it's not necessarily the things that are most valuable or most expensive. It's actually often quite sort of modest things that relate them to other people.
Things that look like trees.
What do I collect?
Books with numbers as titles. Books with red and white patterned covers that cost less than £1.
I think that, I mean, in a way, thinking about it, I mean, we collect for the nation, don't we?
Super warriors that have gone heretic.
Toy trees.
And other forms of humanoids.
We're working with a collection which spans from 1500 to the contemporary.
And then to aliens that virtually will tear you apart.
I went through a brief period of collecting holes.
We're custodians. We're looking after the Tates collection for the nation. It's for the future, and we're looking after it and working with it and holding it in trust for future generations.
And something I should have said right at the top of the whole interview is the best collection of all for me is a list, because it's dirt cheap and really interesting.
I think that whether or not one actually orders the things around you is seen by people as actually saying quite a lot about them. So there are certainly many people out there who will never allow things to become too tidy.
No, I'm chaotic at home. I'm not particularly ordered. The one area that is very ordered are my books, particularly my art books. So I know exactly where things are when I need to be kind of referring to them for my work at Tate.
Quite strict rules. I'm very, very keen on the rules of classification of collections.
I normally keep my collections in the folder or in little plastic packets in my room. Normally all my collections are virtually next to each other.
I know where everything is.
Yeah.
But by and large, I like to be ordered, but it's not an order that other people sometimes recognise.
Most of my stuff now is stacked up in the corner of my room, but there's still quite a lot of mess on my desk.
I like to think I'm fairly organised when it comes to organising an exhibition, yes. I mean, it's such a long... I have to ask my colleagues.
And then what happens if I'm working is that the mess gets really appalling with bits of drawings and tools and everything everywhere. And then there's a fantastic moment of getting everything square afterwards, of tidying up. I love tidying up, but I don't do it very often.
My room at the moment is littered with Warhammer models and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm always constantly being told by my father to clear my desk so I can have some more space to paint, but I never really get around to it.
People gradually accumulate the things of memory, the things from each holiday they went on, the things they were given by people they care about. And when you come into the home, you can't see any connection at all between those various things. The things are collections only because they relate to the biography of the person who lives there, who's surrounded by things that they remember.
The story of how and where I got them is quite interesting occasionally. I mean, memories of what holiday I was on or where I was teaching or whatever.
The value that we give objects, I mean, yes, we've all got cherished objects, but the value we give to them and the meanings they have are often very much in the moment, and they do change. You know, it's like the moment you're walking along a beach and you see a shell or a stone and you pick it up, and it somehow stands for that moment. You're capturing something in an object.
Recently, on Christmas Day, my cousin gave me his old Warhammer, which made my room even more congested.
We're littered at home with,
Shells
stones and shells and
yeah.
pebbles and all that sort of thing.
It's very common that you'll have a newspaper article or a magazine article that will say to people, not only what are your most cherished things, but maybe what would you take with you if your house was burning?
I would probably have to say my younger child's toy monkey and our photo album. I think, life wouldn't be worth living without as a friar.
What would I save if my house caught fire? Well, first of all, I'd have enormous problems finding the things because they're not on display, they're just in boxes. And second, none of them are valuable.
If there was a fire, I think I'd go and save my Plague Reaper, which is a huge tank because it took me quite a long time to build and a lot of money to buy the parts for.
It'd be really difficult. I think I'd go for more family things.
If my house is burning, I mean, it's a very, and it's happened to me, not my house burning, but being met by, fire brigade knocking on my door telling me to get out of my flat as quickly as possible.
Wow, I didn't know
and
that.
Actually, at the end of the day, objects don't really matter that much. You can approach the exhibition classified from a number of different ways. You can think of it as an exhibition purely drawn from the Tate collection.
It's also an exhibition which really investigates the way that we understand about the order of things.
What it also shows is the way that artists use particular objects, everyday objects, things that we see in our daily lives, things that we probably disregard quite a lot, but are actually the signs around us that propel us through our lives. And what artists often do, they take these objects and they transform them, they turn them into something else.
So in this sense, it's really also about material culture.
It is a collection display and it puts these works together in, perhaps in certain respects, surprising ways. And these are all works that in one way or another have been born from the world around all of us.
So when we were thinking about it, it was very much about building up little constellations or groups of works that would sit well together, that we hoped would articulate the collection in a kind of very new and fresh way.